Hello everyone, my name is Jason. I am an ISFP. This is my ISFP journey, my YouTube channel, and you are watching my extremely brief series on the ISFP and stress. This is part 2, probably the last video. I may do a part 3, I'm not sure. So if you haven't watched part 1, go back and watch part 1, and then come back and, and check out this video. So what I'm going to be talking about in this video is how I deal, or maybe more how I don't deal with the stresses of life, or the things in life that stress me out the most, and kind of how it comes out in me, or what what someone on the outside might notice me doing if I'm under these stresses. So the first one that I had said, I talked about noise. If I am in sensory overload because of too much noise, first of all, I'm going to do everything I can to shut down that noise. Okay, so I have, I taught my kids from a very young age to be relatively quiet. People my whole parenting life, people who have come over have been always commented on how surprised they are, how quiet our kids are. Kids can be taught to be quiet. It's not that big of a deal. Not that I'm not oppressive. I'm happy for them to talk. I talk to them all the time. I want to know their thoughts and whatnot. They just don't need to be, people in general don't need to just be running around making tons of noise. So I'm going to do everything that I can to get the noise off. So I mute commercials if I'm watching something on TV. I have no need to hear it. If I can tell the TV's on and nobody's paying attention to it, I'm going to mute it if it's within my power to do so. If I can't get the noise to go away, I'm going to leave. I'm just so if you have an ISFP in your life and you notice you're at an environment and all of a sudden they just disappear, they probably are overwhelmed by all of the sensory stimulation and they just have to get away from it. So I will do whatever. I will go outside. I'll go in a different room. If I have to, I'll go out and sit in a car. I don't care what I have to do. I will just walk out and most of the time people don't even notice that I'm gone for 5 or 10 minutes or more. I'll just quietly excuse myself and leave because I can't take it. I'll get overwhelmed. And if I have to be stuck in it, I will just sit there and probably do nothing and say nothing and just stew in my mind until it's all gone because it's so overwhelming. If it's physical, environmental stimulation that's not noise, so if everything's just disheveled in a big horrible mess, then I'm going to clean. So I'll go into a big flurry of organizing, picking things up, throwing things away, getting things moved so that there's not this, sort of horrible environment around me where everything's just laying about and there's trash here or there, whatever. I can't take that. And again, if I can't fix it, I'm going to get out of that situation as soon as I can. And if I'm stuck in the situation and I can't fix it, I'm probably just going to sit there, stock still, quiet as can be. I won't want to talk to anybody. I won't want to have any interactions. I'll just kind of be overwhelmed and I will not be able to really reset and be normal until I can get out of there for a while and kind of get my grounding again, get back to normal, and then I'll be fine. As far as rude people, when I'm being stressed out by rude or inconsiderate people, usually I usually show a lot of anger on my face. I'll show my frustration on my face, and I will tend to work and if it's, especially if it's in a work environment, I'll tend to just bury myself in my work and try as best as I can to ignore what I hear these people doing. If people are rude or inconsiderate, if they just get to the point where I think it's just over the top, I will confront them. I can't take it. I get so stressed by people being mean, and I eventually get to the point where I just have to say something. I don't do that a lot. It takes a lot to get me to that point, but I can get there and I can say something. And usually at that point, if I say something, I'm probably not being very kind or considerate myself. I'm probably going to say something that I would consider rude if I heard somebody else saying it, which is kind of a self-defeating concept, but nonetheless, it happens. If I am not being allowed to do something that I feel like is a pressing need and my stress starts to go up, one of the big things I think that anybody would notice about me is that I'm just, for someone who is always in the present, in the moment, always in the here and now, I will be largely checked out. I won't be able to focus on the here and now because I won't be able to stop thinking about that thing that I need to deal with. So, you know, like if people are talking to me, I might be looking at them, but I will probably miss a lot of what they're saying. I can hear the noise coming out of their mouth, but I will probably miss most of the content of what they're saying because my mind is somewhere else. Now, it's not like extroverted intuition daydreaming where my mind is gone, you know, envisioning some future. It's that my mind is back on whatever it is that I can't get out of my brain that I need to get done. So I'm just thinking about this thing that I need to get done. And I can't really enjoy what I'm doing. I can't focus on what I'm doing. By the way, I've noticed this tends to be true in ISTPs as well, I think. So maybe this is a parent function, extroverted sensing combined with child function, introverted intuition thing, because, you know, ISFPs and ISTPs share those functions in those same places, second and third slot. So maybe it's born out of those two functions being in that order, because I've noticed with ISTPs too, that if they have something that they really want to be doing and that they feel is like a pressing need to do, that they will not be there. You know, I mean, they're there physically, but mentally they're gone. They're somewhere else because they're thinking about that thing that they need to get done. And no matter how enjoyable the thing that I'm doing should be, I really will have trouble enjoying it because I'll be thinking about this other thing that I've just got to get back and do. If I'm not allowed to do things the way that I want to do them or believe that they need to be done, I think that this is probably, as much as anything, where it can cause me to get to a place where I'm willing to speak. I'm willing to have a reaction that can be seen and heard. I will get a little short with people. I will be maybe a little huffy. I'm not a big fan of people who try to express their dissatisfaction by going, oh, you know, I'm always like, what, did you just think you weren't breathing loud enough? Needed to breathe louder so we could all hear? That kind of is annoying to me. I don't really like that, so I try really hard not to do that. But that will start to get me huffy. If I've got like, I'm tasked with accomplishing this, and there's a right way to do it, and I'm being pressured to do it a wrong way, or an incomplete way, or to take shortcuts that I don't think are good to take, that's when I'm probably going to get to the point where I'm going to be like, and I'll say it even. In fact, I can think right now, I'm having situations pop into my head from the past where I'm like, yeah, okay, but this is really the way that is the best way to do it, so this is how I'm going to do it, you know? And I can be a little short with people, I think, whenever that's happening, because that really stresses me out. If you don't let me do a job well, I'm probably going to say, yeah, you know, I hear what you're saying and that's fine. You know, I understand why you do it that way, but this is really the way that it's supposed to be done, so this is how I'm going to do it. And I'd probably, if I think back, maybe that's one area I've probably stepped on a few toes in my life, is not being willing to just let that pass and go, oh, okay, and then go do it the right way when nobody's looking, you know? I'm more apt to say, yeah, but can't you see why that doesn't make sense, or why that's incompetent, or why that's going to have a negative ramification? So yeah, sometimes I will say that. But again, almost any time that I'm highly stressed, I think the people who really know me well can see me wearing it, but I can, especially in less comfortable environments, like in a work environment, especially in a work or professional environment, I can really bury it pretty good and not let it show, but it's there. And under my breath, I'm usually not thinking nice thoughts about the people or the person who is stressing me. So I'm pretty bad. I'm just going to admit it. I'm pretty bad about thinking. I usually, in my mind, the word stupid comes up a lot. You know, like, oh, these people are stupid, or that's stupid, or the fact that this person does this thing this way is stupid, or the fact that these people can't stop making so much noise, or they talk so loud, or they're so inconsiderate of, you know, what's going on around them. They're oblivious to what's going on. A lot of times in my brain, I'm thinking that, and I'm thinking stupid with it. So that's a big deal for me, I guess, now that I really think that out. Again, I don't script these videos. I just kind of start talking. So that thought just came out, and it's really true. I really do think that a lot now that I think about it. Data analysis. I will probably look like if I'm having to do what I consider to be deep data analysis, which for a lot of personality types was probably like just basic thinking of no big deal. For me, I'm going to seriously wear the stress on my face. And this is where I'm going to snap at people very quickly if they interrupt me. So if I'm trying to analyze some sort of process or data or think through a work process, something like that, and people are interrupting me, even though they're not being rude, they're not being mean, they're just, asking me a question or something, that's when I'm going to be like, just give me a minute. And I find myself doing that a lot. And I don't want to be mean. I don't like to be rude, right? Like one of the things that stresses me out the most is rude people. So the thought of me being rude is horrible. I hate it. But I know there are a lot of times when I'm trying to analyze data or think through a process, and like one of my kids will come up to me and ask me a question. I'll be like, I just need a minute. Just give me a minute. Which, by the way, is a big reason why a lot of times when I have to do these things, I just go off in another room by myself. That way nobody can interrupt me, which is easier for me. And then I won't be mean. I don't want to be mean. So then I won't even have that opportunity to be mean, because probably nobody's going to try to talk to me if I'm in my bedroom with my door closed, or something like that. And that's why sometimes at work, or sometimes work environments can be very, very stressful, I think, for probably all ISFPs, because a lot of work environments require us to do these things that are just, for me, and probably for many ISFPs, are just naturally stressful. And so, and let's face it, in most work environments, you're being interrupted a lot, So I remember in one work environment that I had, the manager would be like, hey, can you do this? I'm like, sure, I'm happy to do that, And I'd be, in the middle of doing it, and it required my attention. It required me to process thoughts, and to really bear down and do it well. And then like I'm halfway through and the manager's like, hey, can you do this other thing? And I'm just like, I haven't completed the last thing. I mean, I didn't say it, probably should have at times, I guess, I don't know. But I didn't say it, but I'm thinking, I haven't even completed the last thing you had me do. And then I'm off doing that second thing, knowing that the first thing is back there incomplete, which is driving me crazy because I got to get back there and do it. And then, here comes the manager again. Hey, well, can you go over there and do that? And I'm like, you've already got me doing two things. I would much rather either have a list that I can just go down and check it off, right? Okay, I did that, I did that, I did that. Or have a manager that goes, okay, could you do that? And lets me do it. And then go, okay, could you do that? And then lets me do it. Now, I know that that's not always possible in a work environment, which is part of what makes a work environment very stressful. But sometimes it is possible, and managers just aren't very considerate, and they just bombard people with tasks, and it's overwhelming. I learned that honestly with my ESFP daughter. She's worse about that than I am. Like, she really needs to be given one task at a time. Here's a task, please complete it. Okay. And then she can be done. Okay, here's another task, please complete that. Okay, and she's okay with a list. But if I say to her, okay, I want you to, clean your room, and then sometime today I want you to clean your room, and I want you to, dust the living room, and I want you to fold your laundry and put it away, that's going to be very stressful to her because she's just overwhelmed by the amount of stuff. And it's like, it's much better for her to do, she doesn't get overwhelmed by a list. It could be the same amount of things on the list, but it doesn't overwhelm her. And I'm largely the same way. Give me a list of things to do. I'm great. I can go down, check them off, check them off, check them off. But if you come to me and you're like, hey, I need you to do this and this and this and this, I'm like, oh, it's a lot. And then if you interrupt me and don't let me focus on it, then I'm really like, I need to focus on this. So when it comes to planning or thinking about the future, a lot of times I don't think I show a lot of stress about that on my face, but that's one of those things that will get me to a bursting point. Okay. So like, I'm kind of fine. I'm not really fine, but I can act fine. Okay. I'm fine. I'm thinking about the future. I'm fine. And then all of a sudden there'll come a point where I'm just like, could you just not, or, why did you, and I'll have that sort of moment where I go from nobody realizes that I'm stressed at all to, I have to tell you how stressed you're making me by talking so much about the future, or making me plan about the future, or coming up with these big ideas about the future that I can't process. It's too much information for me. It's too big of a thought. I just need little details to go along the way. Now, please understand, I am not saying that in any of these things that it's just blanket okay for me to, be mad, be rude, or even be stressed about these things, right? We all get stressed about different things. I'm not making excuses. All I'm making these videos to do is to just be honest about what things stress me out and how do I tend to act when I get stressed. The last thing that I had was the whole social obligation. First of all, if I have social obligations, I will be stressing about them as long as I know about them. That's kind of the kind of social obligation and future thing that go together. When I know I have to do something, I just want to do it. I just want to be done with it, get it over with. And a lot of times I even enjoy the thing that I have to do, but just knowing that I have this thing that I have to do, it just weighs on my mind. It makes it very difficult for me to think about anything else, and it makes it very difficult for me to enjoy whatever it is I'm doing, because I can't stop thinking about this thing that I'm going to have to do. And so I'll be stressed about it. My mind will be on it a lot of times instead of what I'm doing or where I am. And that drives me crazy because I like to be focused on what I'm doing and where I am. And then, honestly, I'll try to get out of it. Like, even when I sign up for a social obligation that I really enjoy, as the time gets closer and closer, I'll be looking for ways to get out of it. There's nothing better than finding out that something's canceled. Okay, so like this whole quarantine thing, now for me, it really hasn't had much effect at all. I'm still working my job and doing a lot of normal things, but the idea of a whole bunch of social obligations being canceled to me is just glorious, because they stress me out. Even if they're things I love, even if I know I'm going to enjoy them, and even if when I finally do get there, I do enjoy them. I can't count the number of times in my life I have been so stressed about having to go to some social obligation. And then when it was over, driving home and saying to my wife, well, that was really fun. I'm really glad we did that. That's very common for me, okay? Even something I love. Okay, look, I'm wearing a St. Louis Blues shirt, okay, because I am a huge hockey fan, huge St. Louis Blues fan. I'll go to a Blues game. I love going to hockey games. But on the day of the hockey game, I will be stressed about the fact that I have to go to the hockey game, even though I want to go. It still stresses me out. Now, usually once I get there, get in my seat, I'm fine. It's all over. The stress is gone. I enjoy the evening, and on the way home, I'm like, that was great. I'm so glad we got to go. But leading up to it, I'm stressed out of my mind. And now I would never pay, crazy prices for tickets and then look for a way to get out of it. But a lot of social obligations, I do look for ways to get out of because they stress me out. I dread them, okay? Even though I think I might enjoy them. And then when it comes, so this is probably the one that I'm the least proud of, but I'm just going to say it. When it comes to the social obligation Nazis, like the people I was talking about in the previous video who are like, oh, when I was delivering pizza, oh, you deliver pizza, huh? Are you thinking about getting a full-time job? Or something like that, right? I find myself, and it's weird because I'm not sure why, I find myself feeling the weight of that and then not lying. I don't lie to them, but I do try to identify anything that I can tell them to make them think that I'm whatever it is that they want me to be, So if they're a person who thinks, well, you're totally irresponsible if you don't work a full-time job, right? And then they find out, and again, I'm working a full-time job now. I'm not delivering pizza anymore, but I loved delivering pizza. So those people, oh, are you thinking about getting a full-time job, right? Like if I even thought about it, I'd be like, yeah, actually, I was actually online the other day and I saw a job opportunity for, up in this city, driving a truck or whatever. I was thinking about applying for that, Why am I saying that? I mean, it might be true. I may have literally seen that, and I may have the thought may have crossed my mind, well, maybe I should apply for that. But it's like I feel some need to say that, or whatever it is, whatever it is that they think however it is that they think I should be living my life. I have this bad tendency to want to somehow, I don't think I want to impress them. I just think I want them to leave me alone. I think that's really what it is. I just want them to leave me alone. And so maybe if I'll say whatever it is that they want to hear to make them believe that I'm the, definition of responsibility, whatever that means to them, then maybe they'll leave me alone and stop bothering me about the fact that I don't live my life the way that they think I should. That's a big deal for me. Drives me crazy. And I think it's going to be a big deal for anyone with introverted feeling very high in their function stack. So for me, for the INFP, and really probably for the ENFP, and I'm missing one. You guys can help me out in the comments. Whoever else has FI as their parent function besides the ENFP. ENTP? I guess it would be ENTPs, I think. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Point is, for people with introverted feeling very high in their function stack, they're going to want to live their life the way they want to live it, and they're not really going to be all that worried in the grand scheme of things about what other people think they should be doing, But nonetheless, those people are out there and they're constantly in your face going, are you living your life the way I think you should live it? And so for me, I think I just want to get them off and get them to leave me alone. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm doing this thing. I'm trying to get involved in this thing over here and, whatever, just so that they'll go away. But again, if I know that the social obligation Nazis are going to be at an event, I already probably don't want to go to the event anyway because I'm stressed out about it. And then, so I'm already looking for a reason to get out of it. And then when I think about the fact that I'm going to have to talk to those people, it's all the more so that I'm going to be like, I got to try to get out of this. So if you don't have, if you're a person who has a very clear in your mind idea of how people should be living their lives, just know that if you're constantly in their face, sort of criticizing them or questioning why they don't live their lives the way that you think they should, they're probably going to avoid you. They're probably going to try to get away from you if they can. That's how I am. Now, it's different if people are trying to really, I can usually tell the difference between someone who is who genuinely cares about me as a human being and wants to, help me be the best me I can be and is interested in allowing me to help that person be the best them that they can be. That's different. I'll hang out with those people all day long. It's the people who just want you to know that you don't live up to their standards. That is unbearable to me, stresses me out to the highest degree, and I don't like it that sometimes it causes me to, I think, not be completely honest with those people just to get them off my back, and I will go out of my way to avoid them. So those are some of the ways that I think stress comes out in me. I'm not sure if this video was very helpful. I feel like it was kind of more disjointed than some of my normal videos. But anyway, let me know what you think. Leave a comment. If you're an ISFP, let me know if you relate. If you don't relate, I'd be interested to know that too. If you have an ISFP in your life and you have seen the stresses come out in them, I hope maybe this helps to explain it some. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do hit like if this was in any way valuable to you, which not sure if it will be, but if it is, and please do subscribe. I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much for all the new subscribers who have subscribed since the last time I said thank you. Thank you very much for doing that. Please share these videos with your friends. Maybe not this one if it's not the greatest video in the world. You decide there. But anyway, thank you so much. Have an awesome day. Bye now.